What up, friends? It's Devastating, and today we're going to be reviewing ILLIT's newest mini-album, Bomb. This is the third and newest mini-album by K-pop girl group ILLIT. They've just been getting even more popular since they first released Magnetic back in 2024, alongside Cherish My Love in late 2024 as well. Magnetic especially was something that I thought was very fresh for the K-pop scene at the time, and while Cherish My Love wasn't as strong, it was still a very cute and fun and playful synth-pop K-pop song. It continued what they do well, and honestly, with this mini-album, I think they might have found exactly what their sound is. They really lean into and refine these synth-pop and chiptune aspects of their previous mini-album, while incorporating a bit more of the sort of smoother, new disco, kind of housey elements from their first mini-album. There's still some growing pains here and there, but this is probably the most confident I think I've ever seen ILLIT. I think this sound is definitely what they're going to be producing and sort of pursuing in the future, and I don't blame them because this shit slaps. Little Monster, the opener, is definitely reminiscent of the previous mini-album, definitely honing in on that contemporary R&B and two-step thing that they were doing on that last mini-album. It has very subdued vocals, a pretty simple yet sort of consuming beat that really sets a vibe for the track. It is the weakest song overall, I would say, however, it's by no means bad, and again, I do think it sets up a pretty cool vibe. The verses are just kind of there, however, I really do like the sort of rise in the chorus as the vocals go along, expressing this sort of hope within uncertainty, I suppose. It actually fits the lyrics of the members concocting this monster that would consume their fears and doubts, which was a pretty cute and fun lyrical angle. I just wish the instrumental on the verses was a little bit more fulfilling like the other songs on this project. Now we get to the big single, Do the Dance, and holy shit, what a single it is. This is one of ILLIT's best tracks. It basically just combines everything that I love about this group into one song. The instrumental sample that comes from the 5 Star Stories anime, that like French house beat, oh my god, it's so good. Those flowing vocals that go into tic-tac style onomatopoeia, like the silky catchiest, like this is a track to remember. The structure of this track is just incredibly well done and cohesive. Not a single second on this song feels wasted. The lyrics also do a great job in expressing this sort of breezy coming-of-age vibe, with the girls being a little bit nervous, but also trying to build up some confidence to ask this person that they're interested in to dance with them. It's a great track, although I don't really know why the Korean version of the title mentions like cats, other than like the meow that's sampled in every so often. The next track, Jellyous, is like kind of another single, I suppose. It was released after Do the Dance, and like this is just another incredible track. It's a fantastic pop song, once again kind of incorporating the chiptune aspect of Tic Tac. However, it does so with a more traditional like dance pop instrumental this time around. The song is actually kind of a continuation of Do the Dance, not only from an instrumental standpoint, but also a lyrical standpoint as well, with the girls kind of feeling uncertain about the level of appreciation and attention that they're getting from this person. It's an interesting sort of like almost situationship style lyric topic for what is otherwise a very jovial pop song, but you know, sometimes pop songs are at their best when they do that. It's very triumphant overall, however, there are moments of like having a downcast energy that I think actually does express this sort of like hidden uncertainty that the lyrics are trying to get across, so I think it was really well done. The girls' vocals are also just great. Like, this song in particular, like, this is K-pop, in my opinion. Next we get to Oops, which is definitely a different vibe compared to what ILLIT has done before. It almost feels like a third-gen K-pop song, so like something that Mamamoo would do. It has that pop-funk sort of instrumental with horn samples all over the place, like a group like Mamamoo loved to do back then. But it also combines that instrumental with a sort of modern K-pop ethos and direction that I think makes for a pretty unique and interesting blend. This is especially prevalent on the bridge. It actually kind of reminds me a lot of what Cherry Bullet used to do. R.I.P. Cherry Bullet. They were one of my favorites. Anyway, it's a really smooth and fun track with a catchy bass line and guitar rhythm especially. I also really like how the lyrics are capturing this sort of youthful energy that the instrumental is giving off too, as they describe their love feeling like how they've known each other since they were kids, or just feeling like an innocence of kids in love. Bamsopoong ends the mini-album on a sort of indie note, actually feeling like something akin to Midnight Fiction for their first mini-album, or something like Pimple from their second mini-album. It really does feel like a closer. Like, this shit feels like it could be in the credits of an 80s, like, coming-of-age movie or something. The punchy drum kit and acoustic guitar do a great job in capturing this sort of nostalgic feeling as they describe hanging out with this person in the park. It has this bittersweet longing feeling to it, like it's a night that they just don't want to end, and while I don't think the song is as strong as the straight-up dance pop songs on this mini-album, I do think this was a very effective closer, and does a really good job in closing out the little mini-story that this album was trying to tell. This was yet another solid mini-album for ILLIT, one that I think really improves upon what they were sort of experimenting with on their previous mini-album, I'll Like You. It really feels like a culmination of everything that they've done up until this point, and I do think it showcases a confidence that was there on their previous mini-albums, but is definitely at the forefront now. It still doesn't beat Super Real Me for me, because I think that mini-album is just incredible and very cohesive, but this one comes pretty damn close. I love that ILLIT is embracing their dance pop and sort of like chiptune sound, especially with the vocal onomatopoeia, like that is their brand at this point. And I also really like how they're engaging with a more sort of like cohesive lyrical narrative on this one too. It was short, but I do think it actually adds a lot to these tracks. Like I'll Like You, one of my biggest problems and one of my only problems with this mini album is how short these songs are, especially when the instrumentals are so good, when the performances are so tight. Like, I'm enjoying these songs so much, I just wish there were more of them. I'm actually not a huge like opponent or hater of these like shorter bridgeless songs like some people are in the K-pop scene right now. Like, I do think they have a place, and I do think, you know, if it's all killer, no filler, that's just as good as having a bridge, you know? But I think there is something to be said of me enjoying these songs so much that I wish we could get even more of them. Leaving me wanting more is definitely better than me thinking that it's just bloated, but come on, we need a little bit more, come on. Still, it's a great vibe. I think this is one of their strongest projects yet, and I just really want something like a full-length album with this sound. Like, let's give them a full-length album, right? Right, HYBE? Anyway, after all that being said, I'm feeling a decent 8 on ILLIT's newest mini-album. Of course, we do have to talk about album covers on this show, and I think this album cover is actually really well done as well. It really captures that sort of summer fantasy vibe that I think is expressing in the instrumental on this one, and in the lyrical narrative too. I like how it expresses that sort of like kind of sort of homely school aesthetic. It doesn't really focus on any particular member because the person in the photo, obviously you can't tell who it is, so I think that was a really clever way of not making any member feel left out of a single person on the actual album cover. I like the sort of like cat made of light that's on it. I think the framing is really well done. Like, it's a very sort of like old school style album cover, but I think it has enough modern sensibilities to where it actually works pretty well. But of course, those are just my thoughts on the newest mini album by ILLIT. What did you guys think? Do you think this was a strong continuation of everything that ILLIT's done up to this point? Or does it not take enough creative risks as you would like? Let me know. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and maybe I'll threaten you. Maybe. But until the next one, farewell.